He had his gun, so he just swung it open.
I start to notice that, the atmosphere feels a little bit weird.
First thing he seen was this 6.5 foot tall, broad shoulder, dark hair. That freaked him out.
We hadn't talked to her about like life and death and what any of that means. She's 3 years old,
So we turned around. Suddenly there's a whole tree falling across the road.
And she was describing to us that, there was a deceased person that she could see visually.
You're listening to Cryptid Clues, where we tackle the ever-expanding history and mystery of monsters and supernatural madness every Monday and Friday. You can find us at CryptidClues.ca for more information, or even check out exclusive content such as interviews and D&D campaigns at patreon.com/CryptidClues.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Clues, Campfire Clues. I am your host Taylor, and today we have a good episode, diving back into more of the Harrison Hot Springs Bigfoot Sasquatch sightings. Now, a few weeks ago, I did a thorough deep dive into the Harrison Sasquatch Museum and the map that corresponds with these sightings. However, I only went up to about 15 of them or so, and this time around, I have more additional sightings that I will be quoting today, along with an updated map that I'll be putting into the blog post sometime this weekend, just providing a reference so you can see all the numbered sightings in relation to these accounts and just kind of map it out on the visually. But before we get into that, a couple of plugs. You can find us on our website, along with our previous episode blog posts, CryptidClues.ca. You can also find us on our social media channels, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Additionally, we're on Patreon, where you can get ad-free early episodes available there. And should you feel the need to reach out to us directly, you can via cryptidclues@gmail.com. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you head into our feeds and listen to both Episode 1 and Episode 2's preview for Haunt of the Grassman, Ruben's D&D styled cryptid campaign, absolutely top tier content that Ruben has been spending many an hour building, with future episodes dropping on Patreon. Now as well, we're nearing into the Halloween countdown coming up here, so make sure you're being safe out there, but also make sure to indulge in some spooky topics, candy, movies, all that fun stuff. Ruben and I have a crazy topic coming next Monday exploring child reincarnation and past lives, so be sure to tune in for that. But without further ado, let's get into this. Now, picking up where we left off. Number 16. Location, Seabird Island. Date, September 19th, 27. William Point and Adeline August see a hair-covered giant walking along the railroad tracks. Now, just to kind of reference here, we're going to be just speedballing through a lot of these. They're very short and concise and right to the point, so I'm just going to be like reading them out as they come, and yeah, just enjoy the ride. 17. Location, Trans-Canada Highway. Date, May 1997. Wayne Oliver of Somerset, England. Wayne Oliver and Julie Ellis, while on vacation, they videotape a large creature seen near the banks of the Fraser River near the Peters Road turnoff. 18. Location, Agassiz, BC. Date, unknown. John Robertson of Cultus Lake finds 14-inch long tracks on Herling Island. 19. Location, Hemlock Valley. Date, 1989. Betty Unger and her grandson Dallas see a Sasquatch cross Hemlock Valley Road in front of them around 4 in the afternoon. Betty and Dallas watched in awe as the Sasquatch came within 20 feet of her car before jumping the snowbank and continuing its walk up the mountain. 20. Location, Morris Valley Road. Date, 2009. Gate watchman, Marv, last name withheld, reports seeing a small hair-covered creature running on 2 feet across the Forest Service Road. 21. Location, Ruby Creek. Date, September 2008. While out hunting around 3:30 in the afternoon, Mark Corton has a large stone thrown at him near a bog. Sasquatch tracks were found during a follow-up investigation by local Sasquatch investigators. 22. Location, Mount Archibald. Date, June 19th, 2008. Norm and Bella, last name withheld, of Rosedale have a large creature cross in front of them on the Bridal Falls Forest Service Road around 2:30 a.m. A follow-up investigation by local Sasquatch investigators led to the discovery of large ground impressions that came up the mountain during the night. 23. Location, Mount Archibald. Date, June 18th, 2008. Ryan Kozak sees a large, dark-haired creature near a nursing stump along the Bridal Falls Service Road. When the creature turned towards the oncoming lights of Ryan's four-wheel drive vehicle, Ryan said the animal scurried over the stump and fled down the hill. 24. Location, Harrison Lake. Date, September 2003. Ben Miller sees a reddish-brown upright creature moving up and over the mountain. 25. Location, Harrison Lake. Date, August 2005. Ben Miller and John Miles find Sasquatch tracks atop of the mountains. The tracks were filmed and photographed and were deemed to be very fresh. 26. Location, Harrison Lake. Date, September 2000. Ben Miller and John Miles see and film 22 Sasquatch tracks along a feeder stream coming off the lake. 27. Location, Stoke Creek. Date, July 1974. Youth camp director sees a Sasquatch while he was sitting by a campfire. Other witnesses with the group reported seeing the creature as well. 28. Location, Deer Campground. Date, August 2010. A woman named Mary saw a Sasquatch in the middle of the night while on her way to the washroom in Sasquatch Provincial Park. 29. Location, Port Douglas. Date, November 1941. Indian village located at the northernmost end of Harrison Lake, reportedly being harassed by a Sasquatch. 30. Location, Mount Woodside. Date, April 1996. Time, 3:30 a.m. Two loggers on their way to work reported seeing a Sasquatch cross Highway number 7. 31. Location, Pine Road. Date, June 2017. Nicole and Jeremy W. hears footsteps approaching their camper at 2:30 a.m. She looks out the window to see a large creature squatting by the glow of embers to her earlier campfire. The creature rose up and walked from the area. 32. Location, Hot Springs Road. Date, December 2013. Sean M., while hunting on his property at daylight, spots a large man-like figure standing on a nearby hill. 33. Location, Harrison Lake. Date, March 24th. Thomas Steenberg was driving the Forest Service Road when he and his passenger simultaneously spot a large, dark figure cross a cut lint. 34. Location, Sasquatch Provincial Park. Date, January 2017. Kenneth Jaholski and 3 friends spot a Sasquatch moving between the trees above the road near the entrance of the park. 35. Location, Weaver Lake. Date, August 2014. M. Muller spots a Sasquatch on the other side of the lake. 36. Location, Camp Cove. Date, May 2017. ATVer Don D. reports seeing a Sasquatch while riding on the west side of Lake Harrison. 37. Location, Chilliwack River. Date, August 1986. 2 witnesses from Salt Lake City observe a large creature making off with their stringer of fish. They were interviewed and footprints were casted by Thomas Steenberg. These prints are also photographed in the blog post on our website. Now, before we continue, we're going to jump to a quick ad break and we will be right back. And we're back. So, picking up where we left off here, as I said before, you can find that information on our website there with the same blog post that has the map Additionally, with all these images that we took of the museum with all the footprints and the foot castings, very, very cool stuff. But I digress. So let's get back into this. Now, number 38, location, Deer Lake Trail, Sasquatch Provincial Park. Date, Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. Sean Lander's girlfriend finds footprints close to a hiking trail at Deer Lake. 39. Location, approximately 38 kilometers northeast of Harrison Forest Service Road. Date, Sunday, June 4th, 2017. Time, 2:30 a.m. Nicole and Jeremy Wiley report a late-night visitor to their campsite seen from the sleeping area on the back of the truck. 40. Location, Highway number 7, Lockheed Highway between Something Road and Harrison Road. Date, April 24th, 2018. Time, 8:30 a.m. A witness driving to Chilliwack observes a creature walk through the backyard near a small house off the highway. 41. Date, August 2017. Steve Turnbull, in company with his girlfriend and her young son, having finished a fun time swimming, observe a tall, dark figure moving among stumps around a clear cut on the north end of the lake. The figure was watching for about 5 minutes until it moved out of sight. 42. Location, Bridle Trail Loop, Harrison Hot Springs. Date, July 17th, 2018. Time, approximately 10 a.m. The Malone family, American visitors, while hiking the Bridle Trail Loop, came across footprints in a muddy spot near a bridge. The track was photographed and reported to Thomas Steenberg, in which he went straight to the site and visited the area to study the tracks. His conclusion was that it is possible. 43. Location, 12-kilometer point, East Harrison Service Road near Slocum Forest Service entrance. Date, October 2007. Brad Trent reported that he saw a Sasquatch cross the road in front of him as it headed north. It crossed east to west, was covered in dark hair, and upright on 2 legs. 44. Location, Hicks Lake Campground, Sasquatch Provincial Park. Date, September 10th, 2014. Time, 11:40 p.m. Mr. Claire Brovden reported that his camper was visited and shaken by a Sasquatch, which woke him up. It also tried to pull on the door handle. He viewed the creature leave his camper and walk forward toward the lakeshore. 45. Location, Chehalis Flats near Chehalis Reserve, East Harrison Forest Service Road, Morris Valley Road. Date, April 17th, 2020. Time, 3 a.m. John Kirk reported strange vocalizations and tracks found out on the flats the following day. 46. Location, Water Tower, Hot Springs Road, Harrison Hot Springs. Date, August 19th, 2021. Time, 9 a.m. Reported to the Harrison Visitor Center with claims of possible footprints on site. 47. Location, Boat Docks Marina, Harrison Hot Springs. Date, Monday, August 2nd, 2022. A boat owner reported that he was awakened by 2 other boat owners who, in their excited state, claimed a large creature was in the water moving among the boats. Investigator Thomas Steenberg spent 2 nights out there, but whatever it was did not return. The 2 witnesses did not want to be interviewed, and these events occurred between 2:30 and 3 a.m. 48. Location, West Harrison Lake Forest Service Road, just south of Weaver Lake turnoff. Date, summer of 1988. Time, 6 a.m. Mr. John Thompson reported that while towing a boat to Weaver Lake, was shocked to see a large hair-covered creature on 2 legs cross the road in front of him right to left. The witness claimed that the creature just seemed to be going about its business, not paying much attention at all to the car and boat trailer at all. That is, in conclusion, all of the sightings associated with this map now once we get that updated on the website, so I really hope you enjoyed that. And speaking on this a little bit, now I was in Harrison Hot Springs very, very recently, about a month after the number 47 occurrence took place. We went and we checked out the marina, checked out the docks, and we went not too far down any service roads, but we explored some of the local hiking trails. And while I was kind of keeping my eyes out for any footprints and looking around on the ground ahead of me, it was a beautiful, beautiful area to explore, and no shortage of hiding spots, let me tell you. Now, I just wanted to kind of point out in our very last one, number 48, it just really caught my attention where the creature did not seem to react to the vehicle. And how often then is it that people are reportedly driving down roads and these things stroll out? It's always been interesting because I would question that, where if you're an animal or you're something on the side of the road, you can hear a car coming a mile away, especially out in the woods where it's just quiet and you got the crickets. At least, I know me being a human being, I can hear a car coming from quite a distance away. They're usually pretty loud, or they're blasting music or something like that. Exhaust is poofing away, but they come nonetheless. So why would you make this point of just lingering around near the road? And if this gentleman was pulling a trailer, let alone with a boat on there, he's definitely going to be making a lot of noise. I've heard those boat trailers, they squeak a little bit. And now this thing is just carrying on with its own business, and it makes me wonder, what is it trying to do? Does it want to intentionally be seen? Does it have that capability of consciously understanding, like, yeah, I'm going to expose myself here and just be witnessed in passing, but it's just a vehicle, so it's not the end of the world. It's just such an interesting, carefree lack of I don't even know what I would call that. It's peculiar. That's what it is. And most people might advocate, like, well, if it was seen by someone in a car, it's probably a guy in a suit. That seems more convenient because these things probably would just hide. You know, you could use that as a case, but more often than not, if the car does somehow come along this corner, maybe it's an electric vehicle, it's being super quiet, but it's either you catch them off guard going down a highway, or if you are going down like a forest service road, those roads aren't very well paved. They can be pretty aggressive. And it blows my mind. They're being seen out there, but I digress. So a lot of these reports, they're all seemingly more prominent back in the day. We have a good dose of them that were focused on like the 2010s to 2020 period, a fair amount of them actually. And then a lot of the research too is done by this local investigator, Thomas Steenberg. And I picked up one of his books actually, and I gifted it to Ruben so he could read into his research a little bit. I picked up a novel from myself as well. Not by Thomas Steenberg, it's by another author, Linda Coyle, and it's fascinating going into this. So knowing that the museum also has this little shop that's kind of dedicated to the whole spectrum of Bigfoot researchers, but also a little bit of a portion dedicated to the local investigators as well that have worked on their own novels. I think that's very important, and that's very fantastic that they're kind of giving more light to these local investigators. I would love to reach out and just hear more information from Thomas Steenberg, actually, and maybe that's something I'll try and do because he just has a lot of cool stories. I've read a few articles that he's published online, and even some interviews that the news has done with him. Just some really cool stuff. I highly recommend checking him out and just reading some of the things he's been attached to regarding Sasquatch and Bigfoot. But I digress. So yeah, he's been working with a lot of these cases in Harrison Hot Springs. He's managed to cast a lot of these too, and so a lot of the castings you would see in the blog posts, the images that I took, those are castings that are either taken by Thomas Steenberg or he acquired and then donated copies to the Sasquatch Museum so people from around the world could indulge and enjoy seeing them. But without further ado, that's pretty much it for this week's episode. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I love getting into the nitty gritty and just kind of like bullet points, all these Sasquatch encounters. It's so fantastic when you can see them and you can reference them on a map and just see where the clusters are. That's something I like to do with Ruben, is send him a map and like, oh, look at all these UFO sightings have clustered here and all these Bigfoot sightings have all clustered there as well. Is there a correlation? I don't know. Let's look into it. So that's the kind of stuff that's just cool when you have a map and you have the overhead view. But anyways, thank you for tuning into this episode of Cryptid Clues, Campfire Clues. You can find us on our website, CryptidClues.ca. You can also find us on our social media channels, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And we're on that Patreon where you get ad-free early episodes available there, including our Haunt of the Grassman campaign episodes. And should you, again, feel that need to reach out to us directly, you can. Send us an email, cryptidclues@gmail.com. So remember, everyone, we're all in for a spooky weekend, so take care and stay safe.